You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox on KLOS. That was Elton John. Saturday's All Right. Then we started off with David Bowie, Friday on My Mind. And bada boom, bada bing. We're here with Mr. Seymour Stein. How are you, Seymour?
I'm fine.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Nice to see you. I think I interviewed you before, didn't I?
I think we've met.
No, I know what it was. We were on a panel before.
Oh,
That's what it was.
where was that?
On the Hyatt, on the top of the Hyatt Hotel.
Oh, yes.
Like 8 years ago?
Probably, yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Glad to be out here in L.A.
Do you kind of live in New York then?
I do live in New York, but I've been out here for a couple of months, and I'll be here for a couple of months more at least.
Do you still like New York?
I love New York.
What do you do there? Do you go to like, did you used to hang out with Lou Reed?
Oh, I signed Lou Reed after he left his other label, and we made a couple of albums together.
Do you remember what albums?
New York, New York.
New York. The New York album was the one I remember most.
Yeah. That was in the 90s? I remember that album.
Yeah, it was a good album.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. But are you one of them guys that there's like a bunch of you always hung out together, like the guy from Rolling Stone and...
What guy from Rolling Stone?
The guy.
Jan Wenner?
Yeah.
I don't hang out with him, but I work with him.
Yeah.
We're both very much involved with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
We were among the founders of it.
His son kind of runs Gus runs it now, doesn't he? The digital side of it.
Of Rolling Stone, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he sold a large portion of it, and I don't know if his son is still there. His son is a very smart kid.
Yeah. What do you think about the way all the music industry now? Because, your era, my era, it's like old moves. No one really operates like that anymore. It's all about I don't even know what it's about anymore, the record business.
I kind of agree with you, although there's some good music coming out.
There's always good music.
Yes, there's always good music, and music always changes. Look, I like music from the 1920s, from the 30s, from the 40s. When I was a youngster, my sister is, 6 years older than me, and we shared a bedroom. We had, I got to listen to the radio when I was 5 years old, and when I was about 6, I heard Fats Domino for the first time in 1949 singing "The Fat Man," and I also loved pop music. I loved I don't care if maybe this will damn me, but I loved the Tennessee Waltz by Patti Page, and it's a great. I loved country music, and the guys that wrote it, Pee Wee King and Red Stewart, they also wrote "You Belong to Me." They were great songwriters, and I felt country music was going to start to play a part, And of course, Hank Williams played. I'm a huge fan of Hank Williams, and then I went backwards and discovered Jimmy Rogers, who I also very much admire.
Yeah. Well, country didn't do bad.
Country is very hot today, but it's very different. It's not the same old country,
No. Well, it's definitely not. A lot of it.
Nothing's the same.
No. Well, and nothing will ever be the same.
No.
Everything changes. You can't just, your era. You can't just think your era is the best era. The best era is whatever you're young in.
Absolutely. You're so right.
You know what I mean?
Because you're young, and because you're influenced by it, Very, very much so. I think people that come into into music later might have a different experience, but I got into it very, very young.
Yeah. So would you say you got a good ear?
Well, I don't want to boast. I think I have. That's all I have, is a good ear.
Yeah.
I don't write songs. I can't sing. I can't play an instrument. I'm not a producer. I mean, it's my ear that's gotten me through the business and made me successful.
Now, would you say there's some songs that you didn't like that were hits, and you're like, oh, how did I let that one go by? You know what I mean?
I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I mean, but I can't recall. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a good ear. I'm just no good at business. Terrible.
I'm sure you are.
Terrible.
Look where you are.
Look at me sitting here in this bleeding room.
Well,
So, just a quick one. You signed the Ramones.
yes,
You signed Madonna.
yes,
You signed the Smiths
yes,
in America.
yes.
Was that for Sire?
Oh, yes, of
All
course.
for Sire.
All for Sire, yes.
Talking Heads,
Absolutely.
Dead Boys.
Yes.
Have I missed anyone out? I'm sure I have.
Oh, you have. I mean, you know, but
Your daughter's here. Maybe she can interject. Wendy.
Mandy.
That's what I said, Mandy. I'm dyslexic. The M was. I turned the M
okay.
upside down. That's what it was.
No worries. The Cult, The Cure,
Cult.
Depeche Mode, Erasure,
K.D. Lang,
the Pretenders.
The
They're
Pretenders.
good friends.
Oh, they were a great signing. I love them.
Chrissy was on here a few months ago.
Oh, yeah, I love Chrissy.
She's the best. Great songwriter.
She is the best.
Yeah. Good in bed, too. What was I going to say? So, was Sire a subsidiary of Warner Brothers?
No. Sire was an independent label distributed by Warner's, and then, you know, I was kind of coerced into, you know, a selling part of the company, and then all of it, actually. And, of course, they kept me on for many, many years because I was bringing in the hits.
Yeah, that helps.
Yes.
That definitely helps. So, your co-founder
Richard Gotterer?
is the other guy?
Yes, that's his name.
Yeah. Was he kind of in the shadows?
No, he wasn't in the shadows, but he didn't stay very long.
Oh.
He was only there for about 6 years, and then he decided that he wanted to go back exclusively to producing, and so he didn't like sitting behind a desk or, you know, traveling that much. I think his wife may have had something to do with that. She was, you know, from a small town in southern Illinois, and you know, she wanted him at home.
Yeah. Yeah. So he didn't.
He left.
He was out of the picture.
Well,
You weren't partners anymore.
I bought him out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Smart. See, I wouldn't have done that because I'm an idiot. That's where you're smart.
What would you have done? Force him to stay?
Killed him.
I don't have the guts.
Should we play some music? What we got?
Queen.
Got Queen. This is a song. It's got nothing to do with you or anything, but we played a song called Friday on My Mind. We played Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting. Now we're going to play a song with Sunday in it. We're here with Seymour Stein and his daughter, Wendy.
Mandy.
That's what I said. Take it away, son. A band signed by Seymour Stein for Sire Records around 1977, maybe? 78? 77?
77.
I think a little earlier, maybe.
76?
76, I think, yeah. 77, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Not sure. And we started off with Queen. Lazing on a Sunday afternoon from A Night at the Opera. Did you ever? Obviously, you signed the Ramones. Do you remember what year that was?
That was about
I don't want to put you on the spot, but
77,
No.
76,
No.
78,
75.
75.
75.
Because I think I was born the same year that you signed them.
They were signed before the Damned.
The Damned.
The Damned.
Before the
Dead Boys?
Dead Boys.
The Dead Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
Yes. It was 74 late, almost
Everything
75.
was happening so fast,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And I was traveling to Europe a lot, you know, looking at talent and
What was going on there? Was the punk thing going?
no, not yet. The Ramones really started the punk thing. And what I think really also helped it along to make it more than just punk was Talking Heads were very big there, too.
In England.
Yes, in England. The Ramones were bigger in England than they were in America. Talking Heads, for the most part, later on Talking Heads got bigger, but they were also big. They were immediate successes, and that made it easier for me, you know, to find and sign English bands.
Like the Smiths.
Yes.
That was
the
a bit
Smiths
later.
yeah, that was quite a bit. Yeah.
So what other punk bands did you sign? You didn't sign the Sex Pistols.
No, I didn't.
Did you like the Sex Pistols?
Not really. But I like the other. You know
Gen X.
what?
Is that who you're talking about?
Generation X?
No, not
Billy Idol.
no. The
Okay, we'll just put
the
shouting out
the
there.
best of all of them. Oh God,
Oh,
The Beatles.
The Clash.
the Clash. I was in love with the Clash. You know, but I think a lot with the Sex Pistols had to do with, you know, there are very few people I take such a dislike to.
Yeah,
And Malcolm McLaren was one of those people.
I get it.
He was a very difficult, you know, you know. So,
Svengali.
no, he was a prick.
Con man.
Are you allowed to say that on radio?
I think you're good.
All right, but he really, really was.
So you met him then to discuss the Sex Pistols?
No, I didn't really meet him. I mean, I did meet him many times.
So how
but
would you know he's a prick?
Because he acted like one, and I wasn't after the Sex Pistols, but the two bands did a tour together, and
Sex Pistols and the Clash.
and I was very interested in the Clash, so I called up
Bernie Rhodes.
Bernie Rhodes. I liked Bernie Rhodes, you know, and he was hard, but a manager should be hard, but he wasn't bad. And so I called him up to let him know that I was on my way, you know, and I was just about to get on a train to see them. I forget exactly where, and Malcolm answered the phone up there at the gig, and I asked if I could speak to Bernie. He says, and he wouldn't let me. Either he wouldn't, or he really wasn't there. I don't know that. So I said, would you tell Bernie that I'm on my way and I'm definitely going to be there, and you know, so he says to me, oh, I'll just tell him there's an old guy coming and they should let him in. Yeah, we were the same age, pretty
Yeah.
much, you know. He just was a very nasty person.
Yeah, he wanted to be in the band in a funny way, and he took a lot more credit for what he actually did. I don't mind him because I knew him.
Well,
You do know I was in the Sex Pistols, right?
yeah. Oh,
You didn't know
oh
that?
yes. You were?
Yeah, I was the guitar player.
Oh, yeah. But I liked the band. It was him I didn't like.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's funny. It's hilarious. It's good.
No, I just totally avoided him, and as a result, the band. I liked the band. I liked some of their music.
You're backtracking.
No.
Okay. This is hilarious.
No, it's him. Why, do you have fond memories of him?
Not when he ripped us off, no. Basically, you know, we got a raw deal, and he made us. There was one lawyer. It was his lawyer. We didn't have a lawyer.
What was his name?
Oh, I don't know.
An American or an English?
No, an English bloke. Stephen. I don't even remember his name. But I remember him coming to America, and a guy from Warner Brothers come back to where I was living and where he was rehearsing in Denmark Street. He looked like a mafioso guy. He had like a shiny suit on, like really odd. Like, I'm like, what is wrong with this picture? Anyway, we signed with Warner's in the States. Not a good deal. It's a lifelong deal. You know, we're stuck with them forever.
Well, I think, not to defend Warner Brothers, but most of them were life deals in those days.
Yeah, okay. Because we didn't know anything.
No, but most deals were. I knew him.
Stephen Fisher. You knew him?
No, I knew of him at least. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, we didn't even have our own lawyer. This was McLaren's guy. And we're just signing whatever, like idiots that you are when you're like 19.
Well, you're anxious too.
Yeah, you want to get out there.
Yeah.
You know, but that's where he wasn't good, McLaren. McLaren helped me prior to the band because he used to have the shop down the King's Road.
Yes.
That all the scallywags could hang out in, and I used to.
And
hang
he
out.
had that woman there,
Vivian Westwood.
I liked her. She wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You did you mind her?
No, I like Viv.
Yeah,
she
she's
was
very
great.
nice. Yeah.
So that was that, and I used to drive him around because he couldn't drive. I used to drive him around to all the tailors that he'd buy material from, but in return he would take me to like the Speakeasy, a world.
Speak.
I didn't.
Speak. What was the other good one? Not far away from the Speakeasy.
Scott's.
The Scott.
No.
Yeah, I think.
What was his bloody
name?
name?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Tony Scott. I don't know.
No, that was a
That
great...
was the joint that you could go in at. It was open till like 2 in the morning, which was late for London.
I know.
All the bands used to go there anyway. He used to take me with him down there, and he showed me a world I didn't know about because I was kind of like just a guy from a council estate, you know, like a skinhead troublemaker. So I was interested in that, you know, all that avant-garde people and all that. I loved all that. So he kind of opened the door for that for me.
That's good.
So I internally grateful for that. But on the other hand, he can't be trusted.
Well, I didn't know him that well.
Yeah.
But I just, you know, I thought he was very harsh.
A lot of people didn't like him.
Yes.
Because he was very egotistical.
Oh, yes.
You know, he wanted to be a star. And after the Pistols, he kind of he did his own little thing with Buffalo Girls and all that, you know, where he was singing. Because that's really that's why he always butted heads with the singer. They were both very similar.
Oh.
You know, John Lydon, Johnny Rotten. But I'm going to play a song right now. It's a mashup of God Save the Queen, the Sex Pistols, with Madonna's Ray of Light. Oh. Tell me what you think of this. We're here with Seymour Stein and his daughter, Wendy. Mandy. And you're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox on KLOS.
I don't like being spat.
Listening to Jonesy's Jukebox on KLOS. That was Television, Marquee Moon. And then we had Talking Heads, Psycho Killer. That was on Mr. Seymour Stein's label, Sire Records. and Go Home Production, which was a mashup by some guy in his bedroom, which was a mixture between Madonna, Ray of Light, and 2 Sex Pistols songs. Very good version, though. I do enjoy that. And we are here with Seymour Stein and his daughter. What's your name?
Mandy.
Mandy. And I've known you forever, Mandy.
I know. I've been very lucky to know you.
Yeah.
You're a good person.
See what I do for you? So we got your book here, and this came out about a year ago,
Yes.
and you're married and all the rest of it. But didn't you? Is it common knowledge
Yeah. That he's gay?
that you're gay, right?
Yeah, well, bisexual.
Bisexual.
When was the last time you were with a woman?
Yeah.
I think you're pretty gay.
When was the last time I was with a man? I'm 76 years old. Leave me alone.
That's not that old though. 76.
Well,
77. But
Seven-
who's
77,
counting?
actually, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
When did you know you were bisexual? At a very well, I was looking at your picture when you were a kid. You look a little bit gay there. Don't you think, with the little curly hair and stuff?
I can't help being born with curly hair.
Look at that. Did you think that was a bisexual in the making? That picture?
I don't know.
So when did you have feelings for fellas? Because you got married. You've got Mandy here.
Wasn't it Ricky Nelson's fault?
Well,
He was a good-looking dude, Ricky Nelson.
oh yeah. I think I was very attracted to certain people I saw on television, and first and foremost, I would say Ricky Nelson.
His eyes.
Everything about him.
Did you ever meet him?
Yes, I did. He came up to Billboard a couple of times while I was working there, and
Did you get all nervous when he walked in the room?
no, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
excited in a way, but I certainly kept it down.
Yeah.
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 He's. I was very depressed when he died. I remember where I was. I was in Florida because I had just had an operation on my heart, and I went there to recuperate to Florida. Stayed with a dear friend of mine, and I was shocked. It was one of Jerry Lee Lewis's planes. He must have killed more people with his planes.
That's why he was called the Killer.
Yeah, well, probably. But,
You worked with him.
I worked with Jerry Lee, yes. Andy Paley produced a very good record with Jerry Lee.
A country one?
It was sort of country, yes.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
He was a good artist.
He still is. Can you believe it? Of the surviving members
Yeah.
of the first 10 inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
50s guys.
Well, there's only 2 of them alive, of the first 10.
Little Richard?
Little Richard and Jerry
Jerry
Lee.
Lee, yeah.
I mean, and I spoke to Little Richard a little while ago. He's, he's living in Memphis. So
Does he still perform?
I don't know. My sister met him. She was there in the hotel where he lives. He always lived in a hotel.
Yeah.
He used to live on the one on Hollywood Boulevard, and
He's a minister now, isn't he? A minister? Ain't he a minister now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Go on, tell us the story.
So,
Anne saw him in the hotel.
Ann saw him in the hotel, and she said, I think you may know my brother, Seymour Stein. She says, no, Seymour Stein. He says, he's the reason I got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is absolute rubbish because, I mean, he's, but that's what I think he was giving. So my sister called me up and put him on the phone with me, and I had a nice chat with him. You know, I look. I love look. Those guys influenced me. Jerry Lee and many of the others.
Chuck Berry.
Oh, Chuck was the greatest of all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Chuck could do anything, and what a great writer, what a great performer. There was nobody like Chuck Berry.
Eddie Cochran, he was one of my favorites.
And of course, Elvis Presley.
Of course.
You know, that goes without saying.
Yeah. We're going to visit the Duke. We're here with Seymour Stein and his daughter, Mandy. And, oh, my soul!
The KLOS commercial.
You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox on KLOS. That was the Pretenders' Mystery Achievement from their debut album, The Pretenders, released in 1980, produced by Chris Thomas for Sire Records. Chris Thomas also produced Nevermind the Bollocks. Did you know that?
What?
Seymour?
Pardon?
The producer,
Yeah, Chris Thomas was a good producer.
he produced the Sex Pistols album
yes,
too.
yes, I remember. Yes,
And the Pretenders.
yes.
What did you think of the Pretenders? You signed them.
Oh, it was amazing. They weren't called the Pretenders when I saw them. They were called the Chrissy Hine Band.
Really?
Yes, I mean they hadn't a deal or anything, and it was one of their very first performances, and it was at a club called the Moonlight Club, which was just
In Camden.
yes, right around the
It's
corner.
a pub, basically.
Right around the corner from the Decca Studios. So I drove up, and I remembered the club when it was called Kluk's Clique. And I used to see John Mayall play there, and because my partner in Blue Horizon, which is another label that I had, Mike Vernon, was a Decca producer, and he constantly worked at that studio, and a lot of his bands like played there. Including the original Fleetwood Mac, Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, which was originally on Blue Horizon, which was our label. So I got a good feeling when I saw that this club was the old club that I hadn't been to in quite a few years. And then when I walked in, I fell in love with her instantly, then, she went on stage. She was fantastic, and and she came off, and the first thing she said, "Look, this is a band." She wasn't talking to me.
Yeah.
She said, "This is a band." She said, "We cannot call it a Chrissy Hine Band." She said. And that's how the band got the
Pretenders.
name, the Pretenders. She said to me, "What do you think of the name?" I said, "The Great Pretender" by the Platters is one of my favorite songs. I love it. I said, "It's great." And we agreed to do a deal. We didn't talk terms or anything. Right then and there, she was being looked after by a guy called Dave Hill.
Yeah.
And,
I
you
know
remember Dave Hill?
Absolutely.
Yes. So I like Dave Hill a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
It was love at first sight. I'm still in touch with her, not as much as I used to, but she's the greatest.
She has a great, distinctive voice
Oh yes.
and writes great songwriter too.
Yes, quite good.
Got the whole package.
Yes.
And I had sex with her. Did I mention that before?
What?
That I had sex with her? I did. Seymour.
Yes?
Yes. It was fun. Oh, man. So, who have we left out? What bands have we left out? The Cult. You signed the Cult.
I signed the Cult.
Yeah. Did you see them before you signed them?
Yes.
And what did you think? You obviously liked them.
Obviously,
Did you sign bands you didn't like just because you thought they might be famous, but you didn't?
never.
Never.
Not bands that I didn't like. Why would I?
Okay, let me put it another way. Did you ever sign bands that didn't make it?
course I-
Every label does.
Oh, please. Of course. You know, yes.
Because I mean that's what you take into account with a label, right?
I
You sign
think-
10 bands, 2 might have hit.
I
make
think
it.
I had a better batting average than
Yeah.
that. I had a better batting average than most. I think only because I got in there very early, and I think that if I didn't, there were 7 majors at that time. If I didn't get in early, I'd be dead.
Yeah. So you was on the ball. Would you say you were more on the ball than these big labels?
I wouldn't personally say that, but the thing is, I could make a decision on the spot.
Yeah.
If an A&R man saw them,
Red tape.
he'd have to go to the head of A&R,
Red
who'd
tape.
have to go to the head of the company,
Yeah.
and all. And by that time, I could have them signed, you
Yeah.
know. So,
Yeah.
that's all it was.
Yeah. And do you have anything to do with Sire these days?
No. I left Sire almost a year ago.
Yeah. And what do you do now? Just hang out in coffee shops?
No, I'm in talks with people. Some in America, some in England, from other parts of the world. About I haven't made a decision, but I'm really anxious to get back. I've worked all my life. I started at Billboard when I was 15 years old and still in high school, and I've never stopped until a year ago, and it's driving me crazy.
You want to keep being busy.
Oh, I love it. I love the music business.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, listen, thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
That was a pleasure having you here and the stories. And your daughter, Mandy. I got it right.
Thank you.
And you're going to the Ramones Sunday, right?
Yes.
There's no place we would be besides at the cemetery at Hollywood Forever.
Johnny Ramone tribute
Yes.
at Hollywood Forever.
I was probably closer with the Ramones than I definitely was closer with the Ramones than any other band because Linda was their manager.
My mother.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
wife.
not Linda Ramone.
Not Linda Ramone.
No,
Linda
no,
Stein, my
yes,
mom.
Linda Stein. And so and I was particularly closest with Johnny because he took care of the business in addition to being a really good musician. But I can't believe that none of them are left. It's so sad.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all good people, and but I mean, Dee Dee was a little nuts, but I mean, I was close with all of them.
Did Dee Dee come on to you or something?
What?
Did he ever have a thing with you, Dee Dee?
Oh, I never had a thing with Dee
No,
Dee.
Dee Dee hit on you.
What? Dee Dee hit on me?
Yeah, and then you pretended to.
Oh, well, I know. Dee Dee hit on me. I think he did it, not because he found me attractive or anything.
He needed some money?
Maybe that, or maybe he just wanted to get closer to me, in a business relationship.
Yeah.
So, at that time, I had a code where you could dial a number,
Yeah.
and your phone would ring. And Linda was in a taxi heading for
Your wife.
My wife Linda was heading for the airport.
Yeah.
And Dee Dee was already getting undressed. and I wanted no part of it. So so I had the phone ring,
Yeah.
and I pretend. Oh, I said,
I gotta go.
I said, oh, I'll look out the window. You know, and wait. Anyway, I'll see you in a few minutes. And loud, so
Yeah.
you know. And then I ran back in the room. I said, "That was Linda." I said, "There's a terrible storm at the airport. She's on her way back here. Get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
So he got, you know, he ran out of the house. Thank God.
He was a good-looking dude, though, when he was young.
I
Was it your cup of tea?
I wouldn't say it was not my cup of tea. I mean, he's an artist. I gotta have, you know, you gotta have a little separation there.
Oh, I hear that. I hear that. Anyway.
Look, I didn't have the. If you think I had the greatest sexual life, I mean, believe me, you know, absolutely, you know, I was totally dedicated to Sire Records,
Yeah.
to building up a great roster, which I did. That was always first and
Number one.
foremost in my mind, you know. So, but yes,
Are you going to be there Sunday?
absolutely.
Fantastic. I'll see you again.
Oh, good, you'll be there. Great.
I'm going to be there, yeah.
Good.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
That was great. Seymour Stein. We're going to play the Cult Love Removal Machine, which is a band that you signed. And I'll see you later. And take it away.